I loved Halo as a kid. Now that I'm older, I'm 22 now, I just graduated college, I love Halo even more than I used to. There have been plenty of franchises, plenty of universes that I've fallen in love with throughout the course of my life. Star Wars when I was a kid, the Clone Wars, big Lord of the Rings phase in there, Dune more recently. Nothing has really captured me and stuck with me like Halo did. Ever since I first got my hands on a Halo game, my life was changed. So, to kind of articulate why that is for me, we should probably go back to where it really started.
The year is 2012, and it is movie night. Being 2012, there's only one place to go when it's movie night. That's right, Blockbuster. So, me and my dad, we drive to Blockbuster. We get out of the car and we start walking into the Blockbuster. Now, there's only one thing in the window. This game plastered all up on every single windowsill. And I only had one thought. Who plays this stuff, man?
And that was the first time I ever encountered anything Halo. At the time, I was very big into football, St. Louis Rams.
Look how that turned out.
And I really thought that video games were stuff for losers that, stayed inside all day. They didn't exercise or whatever. It was actually Minecraft that changed that for me. But the time when things really changed was one day at the third grade lunch table.
Nah. I have the record with 27 jalapenos eaten in one lunch period. No, dude, you were eating sour cream at the same time. That doesn't count. Hey, yo, Matt. What? Check this out.
Yeah, man. These things had a hold on me for months. I don't know what they were from. I don't know what they were about. I don't know who any of these people were. But I knew that they were the coolest toys I had ever seen in my life. So, I amassed like 15 of them just by scavenging like super old Angry Birds erasers and trading them for a few of the throwaways my friends didn't want anymore. And eventually, a day came where my dad brought me to a GameStop and I found a certain game with one of these guys on it. And I came back with this. This exact copy. Actually, I still have it. I went home and I plugged that bad boy into this thing. Still have that too. And dude, I have not looked back since. I remember the first time I beat the campaign, I played it on easy. I was 8. Relax. I beat it in 3 days, and I was like, dude, I'm good at video games, man. And then I bumped it up to normal. I thought I was the shit. And eventually, my mom got me Halo Reach while she was grocery shopping at Walmart. Whole new world, dude. Firefight blew my mind. It blew my mind. It was awesome. Eventually I got ODST. I got that game that I saw on a Blockbuster window. And with my allowance, I bought this bad boy with Halo CE and Halo 2. Dude, I was hooked. I was so hooked. It was crazy. It's all I would do. And what's crazy looking back, during all those years when I had these games, I never had an Xbox Live subscription. I didn't have my console connected to the internet. So all I had, looking back, it's so weird to think about how small of a slice I really had of what Halo really is. You know what I mean? All I had was the campaigns and some multiplayer maps to walk through alone in custom games. I messed around in Forge, and I made a bunch of stories up about my Spartan in Reach Firefight. Like, I didn't even get to play Spartan Ops, dude, because you needed an internet connection. So all I had were these campaigns. I would come home every night. I'd run from the bus stop because I was so excited to play even more. I'd boot up a campaign. I'd just pick randomly, and every single time there was something new, some new question I had from some random happening or some random detail I had never seen before. And I was playing through these campaigns over and over and over and over and over and over again. New mission every night. But yeah, like all I had were these stories and these little worlds I could explore every night and find a new little detail. So what else was there to do than to learn everything I could about this universe, about the characters in it, about the world and the setting, everything. So let me give you a few examples of what I'm talking about here. What are these beam towers for? What are these glyphs in the control room? Why would the Forerunners keep samples of the Flood on Halo? What are they doing with Captain Keyes, bro? Why is the Covenant structured the way it is? Why did the Prophets end up betraying the elites?
What is that?
What's in this door? What did Guilty Spark mean by
Last time you asked me if it were my choice,
and
you are Forerunner.
what the hell do you mean that the Spartans were kidnapped as children? I mean, who even is this guy? How, like, what happened in the Forerunner Flood conflict? You mean to tell me that there was a human Forerunner conflict? And most of all, the most important question, what are these mysterious beings? And did seeing them cause Master Chief to go insane and have hallucinations about his missing girlfriend for the rest of Halo 3? We still don't know that answer. All of these questions can lead you down a rabbit hole. And there are two ways I think you can navigate a certain rabbit hole. The first one, obviously, you go and you read the books. You look into the encyclopedias, all the art books, all the lore that has been released. But I was in elementary school. I'm not gonna read. So what was my only other option? That's right. Where you are right now, Halo YouTube, dude. Halo YouTube, I think, was the final straw that broke the camel's back of ever not being obsessed with Halo, man. Any chance I got, if I wasn't playing Halo, I was watching Halo YouTube. And I'm talking the classics. I'm talking Chris from Halo Follower. I'm talking Ready Up Live. I got on a few streams, just saying. And still my favorite to this day, I'm talking the classic HiddenXperia lore videos, dude. That stuff hooked me so hard. That, matter of fact, there was one time where I had lunch detention in middle school, it's probably 7th grade, and I watched this video. I still remember, and it flew by because I was having so much fun. I was learning this incredible stuff, right? And eventually, unfortunately, I did get older. I know, surprising. And I started to read. It was the first time I read one of the Halo books was in 2018, after I saw this video from Green Skull. I was like, dude, the rookie's dead? And then I looked up how long the book was. New Blood is not a long book. I was like, okay. And I didn't read another one for a year. But that book got the ball rolling. You know what I mean? And going back to those questions I was talking about, let's take one. Let's take the one about how the Covenant's structured, right? The caste system. I didn't know it was called that at the time, but I was, you know, why aren't the jackals more powerful? Why are these old guys bossing the elites around, right? Like, you know, so I ended up reading the Kilo 5 trilogy when I was about 18, probably. So still a little boy, but you know, one of the thing that just grabbed me so hard about those books was how deep it went into Sangheili culture, right? One of my favorite parts is that the profession of doctor is just so new for this society because it was so taboo to get any sort of medical treatment because it was viewed as dishonorable, right? And then even now that it's been implemented by the Arbiter and the Swords of Sanghelios, it's still very taboo to a lot of Sangheili because it's been so ingrained and they've been groomed and taught this for centuries and generations. Like, that is so cool, dude. And you figure this stuff out from such simple questions. You find this random thing in a game or a random detail about whatever you're doing, and it leads to a question. And that question has an answer, and it leads to 4 more questions. And all of those lead to 4 more questions, etc., etc., etc. And it's never ending. Everything is just like this. It's the reason I love this universe so much is not only is it very, very wide, there's so many things that can satisfy basically any interest, if you ask me. And all of those things are very, very fleshed out. So it's not this wide puddle. It's a very, very wide and deep ocean. And I feel like it sets Halo apart from a lot of other universes. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and say, you know, Halo's the only one that's this deep. You know, there are plenty of very rich universes that I'm familiar with and that I'm not familiar with, right? But the reason that Halo's wide and deep universe really stuck with me in particular was, you know, for a few reasons. Now, I think there are 2 ways you could look at this. One, you could say that Halo really stuck with me because it just so happened to really click with what I was interested in personally. Or you could also argue that what I was so interested in personally was shaped by this franchise. And honestly, I really do think that it's a little bit of both, right? So, you know, Halo is a very sci-fi focused franchise with a lot of astronomy elements, and it heavily features religious themes. I end up going to college and I major in astrophysics with a minor in religious studies. So, you know, either I was made for Halo or Halo was made for me, or we were made for each other. But yeah, dude, like, I think this franchise really ended up shaping my life in so many different ways. I'm so passionate about the story and the themes that are within this franchise that it's like almost overwhelming. So yeah, man, like with how deep and how wide this universe is, it makes all of these characters and these societies and these worlds feel so real to me. And I want to learn everything about every single one of them. I cannot leave any stone unturned, you know? So like it just means this shit means something to me, man. All that being said though, we got a little deep there. I want to reiterate, this shit is just fucking cool, man. You don't need to be all soapy or whatever. This is awesome. I think anybody, if you look at this and somebody tells you, no, that's not the dopest thing I've ever seen in my life, you should stop talking to that person because, hello, this stuff is awesome. But yeah, so going back to what I said earlier about how I had a very small slice of what Halo is back in that day when I didn't have a Xbox Live connection. Let's go back in time a little bit. 2015. You know where I'm going with this? Yep, that's right. 2015. The Xbox One came out in like 2013 or something. 2015 was when this thing came out. And this was the first Halo game that I was present for the launch for. So I came onto the scene sometime like late 2013. So I didn't have a Xbox One or Xbox Live when Master Chief Collection came out. So for Christmas 2015, I got this thing, you know. So yeah, I was in 5th grade when this came out. You feel old now, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet you do. But this was this was the first game that I was present for the launch for. So it held a very special place in my heart for a very long time. If you argued with anyone on Twitter about how good or how bad the story of this was, that was probably me. I'm sorry. You were right. I've grown up a little bit since that time, and I realize that maybe this game wasn't all I made it out to be back in the day. But you know, we live and learn, right? But as part of that Christmas present in 2015, I got Xbox Live. And that came with a whole new world of possibilities with what I could do with my Halo games. And you know, with with Halo 5 being the most recent one, I came home every day and I played Halo 5 multiplayer until I went to sleep. And if you're wondering how much, like if you want me to put this in perspective for how much I played Halo 5 multiplayer, you see that number? I bet you don't have that number. You didn't know life this game like I did. This was my life. Now, what this also meant was that I could start begging my friends to play these games with me. None of my friends really ever got into Halo like I did. There was a little bit of groaning every once in a while when we did play Halo, but once I got them on the game, we played these never-ending Super Fiesta custom games, dude. Like, these are some of the best memories I've ever had in my life. I never lost because I was the only one that played the game, and this was the only game I ever played. But that battle for second place was intense, man. And man, we had so much fun. we had so much fun. There was a little phase there where a few of my friends like really got into it with me. The multiplayer stuff. They're not nerds like I am, and probably a little less autistic. But we would play Warzone all the time. And I don't care what you say. Warzone is fun. All of these memories. I mean, you ask any Halo fan. Any Halo fan that really grew up with Halo, they have memories like this. They could be completely different custom games, completely different people, obviously, completely different games, game modes. Everyone has their thing. Personally, I think just with what I am drawn to with media and with games especially, I'm not a huge multiplayer guy. Despite that, some of my best memories are in Halo multiplayer. On what I think is the worst Halo multiplayer in the worst Halo game. I still have this much time in it. And they're still like some of my most loved memories, dude. And I think that really goes to show what these games mean to me, what these games mean to everyone. Because like I said, if you go and you ask any Halo fan, dude, they're gonna have stories like this. You know, man, like just thinking about this stuff makes me so happy. And it kind of brings me to the real point I wanted to make by making this video. Like I said, I came onto the Halo scene around like just about right before Master Chief Collection came out. Maybe a year before. So in my time as a Halo fan, I have witnessed the disastrous launch of the Master Chief Collection, where it just wasn't working. The disastrous launch of Halo 5. There was no content. The story was, awful. I think I can say that now. And then eventually we got Halo Infinite. And again, I think it's safe to say, disastrous launch. There was no content. I really like Halo Infinite's campaign for what it is and the circumstances behind its development. But saying that it's saying it's on the tier of these original Halo games is just, I can't say that. So I want to reiterate that real quick. I became a Halo fan in 2014. I have witnessed 2 Halo launches. 2 mainline games. I was 10. I'm 22 now, and I've witnessed 2 mainline Halo launches.
No.
So, it's safe to say that it's not all sunshine and rainbows as a Halo fan. And it's also safe to say that Halo as a franchise has gotten pretty much only negative press since I came on. And then ever since then, it feels like it's just negative. There's nothing to the main pop culture audience that is enticing. Why would you want to come on board for a Halo game after all of this negative press over the past decade? It's been a decade, dude. It's devastating. It is devastating It's like I'm watching my son become a drug addict, dude. Like, I'm gonna love you no matter what, but oh my god, dude, lock in, stop. And you relapse and relapse and relapse and relapse. It is so frustrating. And then he'll do this thing that reminds me of the old him, and he fucks it up again. It's like, come on, dude. So, like, this franchise in this universe means so much to me and so many other people. And going back to what I said earlier, I think there's something here within Halo for everyone. I think everyone can find something they are absolutely in love with somewhere within this universe. And I think the more exposed the general public is to Halo, the more people will find that thing that they will love in this universe, right? So, like I said, 12 years. No, dude. Yeah, 13, 12 years. We've had 2 mainline games, right? But if you're in as deep as I am, you know, so I've set these up. Everything to my left has come out since I became a Halo fan. There's a lot of stuff, dude. Some of these are my favorite books I've read in my life. Not just Halo books, books in general, right? And furthermore, all of this stuff that came out before I came along, it's still here, dude. Like, this book, you're telling me the average person that really likes science fiction would not love those. They're incredible. So there's all of this stuff that I love so much that I know more people would love, that is just not being consumed because Halo has such a bad reputation right now. But that brings me to,
They're wrong.
all right, so before we talk about this new game, I kind of want to go over my expectations for it. And first and foremost, Halo Combat Evolved is my favorite piece of media ever, of all time, right? So at no point was I expecting or hoping that this remake would be a replacement for what Combat Evolved is to me. With that being said, oh my god, dude, I'm so freaking excited. Like, come on. You are too, a little bit. Come on. You are too. Don't lie. I mean, like, the Johnson missions, dude. It's going to be awesome, right? And furthermore, I think it is the perfect spot for so many new fans to jump on and introduce themselves into the Halo franchise, right? Especially with the addition of it being on PlayStation. Like, we're talking maybe millions of new fans interacting with this franchise that I love so freaking much. And maybe, you know, they really like the game. They're having a lot of fun. They like the story. They want to learn more. Maybe they find the terminals and they start going down that same pipeline that I went down, and they find some of these books. That's exactly what I want to happen, right? So if we take this new game, right, and if it's handled well,
It is devastating. It's like I'm watching my son become a drug addict, dude.
now hold on. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm expecting a 10 out of 10 game. There's there's plenty of things that I'm sure like a lot of us are kind of wondering what the hell they were thinking, as it seems to go with Halo these days. But there seems to be a lot of good here. There's a lot to be excited about, in my opinion. And I think what we've seen so far, and I think we can expect something that's fun to play, at the very least. You know what I mean? So here's the deal. Say the campaign evolved, the CE remake is pretty good. I'm not expecting a 10 out of 10. Say it's an 8 out of 10, right? We've got an opportunity here, because a lot of people, after this comes out, maybe come August, right? We're gonna have an opportunity. Halo Studios is gonna have an opportunity, and it needs to be taken advantage of, right? So, in my opinion, there are two things that need to happen. First of all, a lot of change needs to happen, right? We've gone over a bunch of times, the past decade plus of all of the unbelievable mishaps, right? If, first of all, that changes, and I mean, with all the new Xbox CEO stuff that's happening right now, all that she's doing, there's sure as hell some changes. With those changes, number two, does that come with the right direction and the right intention for Halo? So let me pose you a possible future here. So say we get Campaign Evolved this year, and then we get Halo 7, Halo 2 Remake in 29, Halo 8, and then the Halo 3 Remake in 2032, right? So 5 games from now until 2032, right? That's 6 years. If, big ol' if, the biggest if ever, possibly, if all of those can, one, be achieved in a sustainable development cycle, and the people behind it, the management behind it, handle things correctly with good intentions, I see a slim possibility that Halo could retake a big spot in pop culture, right? I think it's possible. I think, especially with these remakes, for all these new fans to come on, and then they're exposed to the new games as they come out, 7, 8, maybe they do spin-offs with other studios or something, right? This is the opportunity. It has to be now. You know what I mean? Like, they tried the spiritual reboot with Infinite, the execution and the intention weren't there, right? It can be argued that, is that execution and intention already going down the wrong path with Campaign Evolved? Maybe, right? But we have the change coming. Could it lead to something great for Halo? And I'm not expecting 2007 levels of hype, like I'd be pretty shocked to see like 7 figures Halo 3 matchmaking type deal. You know what I mean? But Halo could be really, really, really big again if this is handled correctly. I think this is, say whatever you want about the decision to make a remake or, do this game again, release it again. I think if the goal is to take Halo from the depths of where it is because of what happened with 343 Industries and just the disastrous over and over and over again outcomes of stuff, if the goal is to take it out from those depths and bring it back to at least a fraction of what Halo used to be in the public general audience eye, I think this is the right move. All right? There's something here. All right? And I urge you, and I know it's a big ask because, I've been here too. We've been fucking deceived. We've been lied to. over and over and over again over the past however freaking long, dude. But if you can't, like, have faith with me. One more time. One more time. Because at the very least, you can admit that a lot is changing over at Xbox and all that crazy shit that's going down right now. If we give this one more chance, you know, I feel like we've all been in the tunnel forever. I feel like there might be a light, like a little bit. And if we don't take any wrong turns in the tunnel and start going backwards, we can make it, man. It's probably pure hopium, you know. Obviously, this is exactly what I want. I want Halo to be the biggest thing again, right? But I genuinely feel there's a chance here, right? So, all I ask, have faith. If you've lost faith, say you're a Halo fan over the last decade or so, understandably so, you've kind of drifted away from Halo, you know? Give Campaign Evolved a fair shot. Go in with an open mind. Try your very best. And I know it's hard. And it's hard for me too. I'm being real optimistic here, but try your best. Just try. Go in with an open mind and have fun, right? See where this path leads Halo down, right? You know, if they fuck this up, it's over. I will concede. If they fuck it up, it's over. Like, we've tried everything at this point. If rebooting the franchise doesn't do it, yeah, bro, it's not looking good, right? So let's all come together, whether you're an old Halo fan, you're a new Halo fan, you've been a Halo fan since you were a kid, just like me, and you've stuck with it. If you're as deep into it as me, get all your friends. If it's handled right, with the right intention, you got something here, man. Have hope, please. Please, just have hope. I think we've got something here. So I'm excited, dude. I cannot wait to play this game, man. You know, I was a senior in high school when Halo Infinite came out. Graduated college now, and we're finally back at another Halo release. So no matter what it is or what it would have been, I'm excited, man. I'm gonna make a whole lot of content about this game, then we're gonna go from there. Make whole everything, man. Get excited. We're gonna have some fun, me and you. We're gonna have some fun, right? So thanks for watching. Have hope. Tell all your friends. Beg your friends to play Halo with you like I used to do. Try to get at least one of them. Show them this universe that you love so much. All right, so, you know, thanks again. Go play some Halo. I'm gonna go play some Halo. Let's go. Let's play some Halo. Halo's always there. You know what I mean? I got so sidetracked. What the fuck was I talking about?